Hi, fellow beings. I'd like to start this show by singing a song that's offered as a connection to real universes. New.
Hi, Tim. I don't see any. They just came in from surfing, but I don't see any other callers. But I'll just make another comment that what we're talking about is actually very revolutionary. The whole idea and concept of what we're talking about, because this isness, it doesn't exist unless we recognize it. And in creation, you can use your imagination to manifest anything you want. So that's like a simple difference. Whereas you can't use your imagination to create something that already is. And in creation, well, that's why we're here. We have the opportunity to learn how to be creative, so we can create anything we want. It may take lifetimes, it may take a long time, but we have that gift to do anything we want. And that's when we talk about the controllers. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was going to be mentioning is you were saying we can do anything we want. Then we have those that seemingly have the power to prevent us from doing things we would like to do that with their free will.
Well, they've learned.
Or whatever.
Yeah, the controllers have learned how this process works. I mean, basically, they've done their homework in a sense. They know how to control people and gain power through this process, because they know how the imagination works, how the social consciousness is, how they know about vibrations, and they're astute in their own way, and they play the good and evil card, the divide and conquer card, to their benefit. And that's where in creation we have this idea that there's good and evil and darkness and light. So they play that card for their benefit by creating religions which would promote that there's a good God and then there's a bad devil. And what they're doing is establishing their own power through that, because who's the good God, or basically they're behind all this. There is no good God or bad God unless people agree to it. So they do exist, but there's more to it. And what the controllers are doing is utilizing this idea and reality, in its own way. It's a reality here in the worlds of creation to control people. And they have every right to do that. We don't agree with it. I mean, I don't agree with it, but they have a right to do that, just like anybody has a right to create anything they want. So it's the agreement that they're after from people, and that agreement makes things real for people. And that's why people are so stuck here, because they've agreed to this nonsense that the controllers have created, these ideas and things, that one does not have to go along with that. It doesn't mean rebelling and throwing rocks or violence, but it just means lose agreement and they don't have the support. It's just very, very common sense. But to see it in action and to actually have enough people agree to that it's a big challenge, because most people are so indoctrinated into the system through lifetimes of these controllers taking management position, of control, that we've been ingrained with this even especially into our subconscious. So it takes a lot to see through this game that they're playing, but it's possible, because there's a few of us that are beginning to see through it. And like Claudia mentioned, it starts with the environment and what's going on around us. I mean, the environment is dying here. It's being polluted and poisoned. And that's our survival. Clean air, clean food, clean water. And then you can get into, the politics, the financial system, science, education. All these things have been polluted. Not just the environment, but everything, practically everything we touch and see, media, everything we think is pure and heavenly, because they've made that up too. The tunnel, after you pass on the white light, the tunnel you go through, the light that you follow. Well, they've set up, I guess, stations there too, so you can, route you certain ways that they want you to go. So it's really a challenge here for everybody. I mean, it's not easy. It's really not easy here at all. But it's possible, and the opportunity is here right now with Dwayne the Great Rider and other real guides. Claudia's working feverishly every night with what she's doing with the projects to help the planet and help people wake up. So we are here for everybody.
It's interesting, Val, that this psych realm world place stuff about cause and effect, and these brutalitarians, authoritarians, whatever you want to call them, masters, or how they seem to be getting away with continuing to control and use their fellow beings for their own selfish interests. And when does the effects of their actions show up on them? Why hasn't it they learned their lesson? Is it something we all went through? Were we all brutalitarians and authoritarians, and it just more experiences that we had to go through to learn by experience that that's not a way we wanted to be, because we found out the effects were something terrible, and whether it's an astral hell to have gone through, and be thankful that we're not there anymore. And it's just so many things about why it is the way it is in these psych realms, when it seems like it could be so wonderful without all this, whatever's opposite of wonderful. I don't know what the word is, but is there anybody else that would like to talk about this passing dream experience and what they know about why it is this way, or the effects, how long they take from the causes of our actions? It seems like we hear now that if the real guides are here protecting us because of our efforts in trying to connect with them through singing the new you, that we have their protection.
Things are so dense here that it takes a while for things for the cause and effect reaction. In the so-called higher levels, things happen instantaneously or quicker, but it's denser here, so the effects of these people that are doing harm it may take a while to show up, even lifetimes from now, and then they'll wonder, well, what happened? What did I do? Well, they didn't see back there 10 lifetimes ago what they did. Yeah.
That's, so it's just that I hear that if they are to try to do something to the new students, it's almost immediate effect back on them. So maybe they just mess with those people that have to go through certain experiences, whether it's, because we look at starvation and things with Israel and the Gaza, and you wonder, well, did those people treat the other people the way they're getting treated now? Is that the experience, the lesson, and cause and effect? If they were brutal and caused people to starve or all kinds of terrible, what we call terrible things, that's their effects on this earth. If they starved to death in Africa or something, did they have the opportunity to share and help others in a previous life in these psych realms? And those are the lessons they need to experience. There's so many things to wonder about why. And that seems to be what so few are really to that point yet, it seems, on Earth, from what the census seem to be showing. It's just the same old not paying attention to what's real about life, what it's all about. To want to know or experience a better experience than here in these psych realms, because it sounds like just like this stuff about remote viewing or things like that into the astral areas, and it's bigger than here in the material, and then there's these places like astral hells where people, whether it's drugs, alcohol, or stuff like that, seem to be connected, have to go through that experience because of their actions here in this physical. It just seems like such a thing to wonder what it would be like not to be controlled here in this brutalitarian realm where the powers that be seem to be wanting to destroy the nature itself. Makes you wonder why they would not have learned better for themselves, what their destiny or whatever you want to call it's going to be. Brutalitarians going to go to astral hells for their actions and learn it that way, or if they have to come back and experience it, what they caused to others back here in this physical for who knows how many lifetimes. And maybe it isn't too important in forever, whatever Chileans do and things like that, just having to go through the experiences to learn their lessons in this psych realm stuff, not in the real universes. I just wonder, I guess it seems almost like this is the way it's supposed to be for a reason. To become more aware of what is not real in the real universes. This seems like it could be wonderful.
In a way, person could cut through a lot of his karma. Person could cut through his karma instantaneously and avoid a lot of it by just start to recognize through the new you and through reading Dwayne's books and actually doing something to contribute to the benefit of everybody, that person could cut through a lot of his karma or her karma, and actually avoid it. Because karma is just an idea. It's just a cause and effect action. So what we've been taught about karma is kind of interesting. It's made up to be a big deal here. That apparently with the new you can take a shortcut through your karma, no matter if you've been a Hitler or a dictator, oppressor of some sort. Especially if you're working with the real guides and they have you, they have something for you to do that would really assist others to contribute in some way with your skills or talents or abilities. You could bypass what you've done, because it's really that recognition is the key. Again, awareness supersedes everything. So even the karma, it supersedes everything, including the karma or amount of karma. So that's something to keep in front of you. That awareness supersedes everything: knowledge, karma, wisdom, love, all these things that people normally highly prize. Well, awareness is just awareness. It's more of who you are, what the real reality is. It's who your real being. We are beings of light. So that breaks through, or you could say just it's a perception that breaks through the creation worlds into something that just is. It's so simple in a way. It's so simple yet so complicated. Again, because we have to go through ourselves. Plus, these days, with the world as it is, we have these outside forces that are impeding on us and confusing us purposely. And see, that's the thing where people don't see it. They think, well, things are bad, or I don't know, politicians are crooked, but they don't see its purpose. The intent that they have and what they've set up is so diabolical that they don't want to see how diabolical it is. They just think it's some, we can do something and get rid of them, arrest the bankers, and maybe you've heard that there's a movement to arrest the bankers. Well, who's arresting the bankers? The bankers are the ones that control everything. There's a level there, who controls the bankers and reptilians or whoever. There's a hierarchy, but it's kind of humorous to me when they're talking about that. So it's not easy, and that's why we're here, to help people, to guide people and educate them to see beyond their restrictions, and that there's more to life. And it's actually an adventure, which is, you don't find that in some spiritual paths, does Jesus have a sense of humor? Do you ever hear in the Bible that he told a joke or something? So that's what we have here too. We have humor, we have, fun, and it's certainly an adventure. I mean, more so than anything you can find on Netflix. I mean, just ask Claudia what she's doing galactically. It's pretty far out. It's new now. It's always new now, so it actually hasn't been done before ever. What we're doing, we're creating history. I mean, it's for anybody who wants to take the risk and see more. Should read Dwayne's books and sing the new you and find out for themselves.
Yeah, thanks, pal. About the awareness. And it seems like these real guides are aware of who is, whatever you call it, to the point, or is ready. They know who is ready. And then somehow they make it guided, whether it's walking down the street and stumble and fall and their face lands in a new book or something that happens to be right there. However, whatever way, I guess, for each person to even have the opportunity. It doesn't seem like until a person is ready that they're going to be receptive or acceptive. They'd be rejective. And then when you have these brutalitarians, authoritarians trying to control the minds of the humans, it just seems like without some interference with them to stop their mind controlling, whether it's microwaves or nanobots or things, that the people don't really have a chance. If their mind is being controlled, to not pay attention. Something has to be done, and the doing to help them, because the authoritarians seem to be trying to make sure, whether it's Grog or Jehovah, or that that people don't see any importance in anything other than their physical stuff going on, whatever it's going to take. It sounds like we have some powerful forces that seem like they're going to be happening on the earth, whether it's pole shifts or earthquakes or volcanoes or tsunamis, or it's just so many things to why is it at this point now that people aren't paying attention, that everybody isn't ready or wanting what's being offered? It could spread so fast if one told another and everyone was wanting to get to real universes out of this psych realm stuff where it's suffering and being controlled or jailed or killed or on and on. So many experiences.